here's this name of this writer that cut through. That was interesting to me because in older generations, everybody was listening to the same radio shows.
It's based on a beautiful, really important book, and it's about a young woman named Lily who confronts the generational cycles in her life.
Breaking news shocks Hollywood. Blake Lively has abruptly left the United States, igniting a firestorm of speculation and adding a high-stakes twist to a saga that's captivated the public. It all kicked off with a heated clash over the creative direction of It Ends With Us, quickly spiraling into a series of public accusations and strategic moves. The tension reached a boiling point when, just hours after a court session cast doubt on her serious allegations against co-star Justin Baldoni, Lively was reportedly seen boarding an international flight under mysterious circumstances. With her current whereabouts unknown and her team silent, the industry and fans alike are abuzz, anxiously pondering what this means for the future of the much-discussed film adaptation. The initial signs of discord appeared during the movie's pre-production, with Lively and Baldoni at odds over the film's artistic direction. Lively pushed for a modern, comedic approach with an emphasis on style, aiming to draw a wider audience with a touch of glamour. In contrast, Baldoni sought to preserve the novel's emotional core, favoring authenticity over potential box office appeal, aiming to connect deeply with fans of the original book. Although such creative disputes are common in big productions, the fallout from this one has been anything but typical. However, the situation intensified when Lively launched a lawsuit against Baldoni, alleging he had marginalized her creative contributions and imposed comedic elements against her wishes. She submitted what seemed to be proof, including emails, text messages, and meeting notes, to demonstrate her consistent resistance to the comedic direction. Her actions garnered applause from those who saw her as an actress championing artistic integrity. Meanwhile, Baldoni's supporters were left puzzled, as his reputation for meaningful and inclusive storytelling seemed at odds with the notion of him disregarding a fellow creator's views. From an outsider's perspective, it looked like both parties were staunchly defending their narratives. The conflict took a sharp turn when Baldoni filed a countersuit, claiming that Lively's allegations were not just overstated, but entirely fabricated. He contended he had evidence that contradicted her account, and pointed out that some documents she presented had questionable timestamps, suggesting potential tampering. Baldoni's response attracted significant attention.
She said, just read it, because I was looking for movies that could be commercial and speak to the human experience. And
Were you reading romance novels?
And I had never read a romance novel.
Never?
And she said, just trust me, read it. So I read it, and by the end of the book, I couldn't even read the text on the page because I was crying so much. My wife was in bed next to me, and she's, I got snot coming out of my nose.
Talking like this, me into my phone at 2 a.m, but largely via text and voice note. And I will be honest with you, that is not my biggest strength. I love being with people and being in somebody's space and being face to face, and I feel like that's where I excel, and definitely fallen short at times in our text and voice note exchanges because there's so much to communicate and there's so much happening, and all that to say, I'm just really looking forward to spending time together, and I think that's going to really go a long way for our chemistry, which I believe is there, has been there from the start. So I was so damn excited when you wanted to do this film. I felt it in the room when we met, and yeah, I think it does come from the both of us being hardworking and having a vision and not settling.
Particularly after Disney, showing confidence in his position, decided to support him. The momentum shifted against Lively during a subsequent court hearing, where the legitimacy of her evidence came under harsh scrutiny. In an unexpected twist, third-party experts analyzing the digital evidence presented by Lively pointed out discrepancies. Although the specific technical details are confidential, leaked information indicates inconsistencies in data markers and version histories that do not align with the official timeline of the production. Bolstered by these findings, Baldoni's legal team announced their readiness to provide further evidence that would directly contradict Lively's documents with the actual production logs. This development added a layer of complexity to the courtroom atmosphere, suggesting the discrepancies might not be mere oversights, but potentially deliberate alterations. During the court sessions, observers noted Lively's evident distress. Her attorneys maintained that the inconsistencies were trivial, possibly the result of common errors in how emails are stored or archived. However, as the interrogation intensified, whispers around the courtroom suggested that the explanations provided by Lively's team were falling short of persuasive. The judge, seeking thoroughness, decided to schedule an additional session for a more in-depth forensic examination. This decision seemed to overwhelm Lively. Reports emerged shortly after that she had left the courthouse and boarded an international flight. Initially, few could fathom that the actress, celebrated for her dynamic roles and charismatic presence in Hollywood, would quietly exit the country. However, as time went on without any official rebuttal, the rumors intensified. Lively's friends were reticent, merely stating she was taking time to reflect without offering further comments. Social media buzzed with conjecture. Some fans expressed concern that she might have been unjustly pressured, while others interpreted her departure as an implicit admission of wrongdoing. For those who had admired her initial fight for her vision of the film, her sudden departure was unsettling. Speculation about Lively's possible whereabouts varied widely. Some guessed she might be at a secluded European retreat in Italy or France, locales favored by celebrities seeking to avoid the limelight. Others thought she might choose a remote tropical destination for utmost privacy.
We always tease each other. He was, after I gave birth, he was like, oh my gosh, if I lost you and I, went to the park with our 3 kids, I mean, think of the ladies I could. Like, this is a horrible thing to say. And he's like, I mean, I've got a long list. And I was like, oh, really? Because I just have 1 on my list. I didn't. I don't have anyone on my list.
And then it wasn't funny anymore.
No, it's so much more of a burn. He's like, wait, who? And I was like, okay, think of someone. Think of someone. Bob Newhart. I don't know.
But there's no hesitancy. I'm happy to send it to you. And I'm sorry that has happened to you before. And I hope after this experience there will be a new, I don't know, I hope it'll be healing in some way. Because that's all I want. I want this movie to be healing. I want this movie to be commercial just like you and affect people and touch people. And I want to walk you through my whole plan and the work that we're doing with the domestic violence partner that we found no more, and just my vision. And I just know that this can be really, really special, and it's going to be special. And you're the secret sauce, and we're the secret sauce. And anyways, I have so much more to say. I'm going to stop rambling because Jesus Christ, it's been 6 minutes and 30 seconds. So me. I'm sorry. You probably have kids all over you and a baby on your boob, and you're listening to me ramble at 2 a.m. I hope you're feeling better, and give Ryan my love. Thank you for sending me that. It means the world to me that you trust me with your feelings and your thoughts like that. And I can't wait to spend more time with you. Okay, I'm done. Cutting myself off. Good night.
A few considered Canada or Australia as likely refuges, given their roles as popular filming locations and more relaxed paparazzi laws, which might allow her to maintain some connection to her career. Regardless of where she went, her abrupt move abroad seemed to many as a sign that the recent legal developments might have significantly damaged her public image. The media quickly connected Lively's departure to another sensational news item: whispers that Ryan Reynolds was contemplating separation, if he hadn't already initiated it. Reports on the specifics are mixed, but the common thread is that Reynolds, known for his sharp wit and entrepreneurial success, was taken aback by the alleged extent of Lively's misrepresentations. Throughout her conflict with Baldoni, Reynolds had maintained a relatively low profile, offering only tepid support when prodded by the media. Now, with Lively's reputation under siege and potential legal consequences on the horizon, there's growing speculation about whether their marriage can withstand such a tumultuous scandal. Reynolds and his representatives have remained silent on Lively's exit, adding to the speculation that he is still assessing the situation privately. On the other side, Justin Baldoni's response to Lively's abrupt exit has been notably restrained. In a concise statement, he voiced regret that the legal battle had eclipsed the artistic aims of the film. Without making direct accusations, Baldoni emphasized his belief that the judicial process would ultimately reveal the truth. Sources close to Baldoni indicate that his main priority is to vindicate himself and protect the film's artistic integrity. Nevertheless, the focus in media coverage has shifted, with many headlines now questioning whether Lively's sudden flight confirms Baldoni's claims, or if it's merely a response to overwhelming media pressure. Disney's involvement adds yet another dimension to this intricate saga. Industry analysts report that Disney's legal team initiated a comprehensive review of communications related to the It Ends With Us production, likely to safeguard its interests. It's rumored that this review revealed not just minor discrepancies, but significant contradictions between what Lively publicly claimed and what the internal project documents showed. This could shed light on why Disney strongly backed Baldoni, even extending robust legal support to him. The speculation is that the entertainment giant is keen to sidestep any negative associations that might taint the final film, or Baldoni's ongoing relationship with the studio. Disney has kept a low profile throughout the ordeal, offering only vague statements about respecting the legal process and seeking a just outcome. Compounding the rumors, numerous unverified reports are suggesting that Lively has sought advice and possibly refuge with close industry connections.
A lot of it's my real-life clothes or my husband's clothes or my girlfriend Gigi's clothes. I was borrowing some...
Wait, that's kind of amazing. So you have something of Gigi's in the movie.
Yeah, it's like a wedding, like something old, something borrowed, something blue, something new.
Wait, which
except
one?
it's just...
Now I want to think of the scene.
Oh, I'm wearing her stuff all over it.
Oh, really?
And tons of like Bodhi, which is with the suit now that I'm wearing is Bodhi. It was meant for my husband, but I borrowed it.
His suit?
It was meant for him to wear, but it's so pretty. Look at it. You guys are not getting it in the shot.
I for sure fell short, and you worked really hard on that, and the way you framed it, and how that made you feel. I just want to say thank you for sharing that with me. That takes a lot of trust and vulnerability, and I feel really grateful that you feel safe enough to tell me that that's how you feel and share that with me. And I'm really sorry. I f***ed up. That is a fail on my part. One thing you should know about me is I will admit and apologize when I fail. I am far from perfect. I'm a very flawed man, as my wife will attest. And and I'm gonna f*** up. I'm gonna say the wrong thing. I'm gonna put my foot in my mouth. I'm gonna piss you off, probably, but I will always apologize.
Including international contacts who might help her evade intense public scrutiny. Some tabloids claim she has severed ties with almost everyone, including her long-standing publicists, driven by the fear of additional leaks that could worsen her situation. On social media, her supporters are vocal, depicting her as a casualty of Hollywood machinations. They argue that she was merely advocating for a more nuanced creative direction, only to be unfairly targeted by a powerful alliance of producers, Disney executives, and Baldoni's supporters. Yet, even among Lively's supporters, feelings of disillusionment have surfaced. Initially, they rallied around her passionate early discussions about It Ends With Us, where she celebrated the novel and expressed eagerness to explore its emotional depths. However, these same fans are now confronted with indications that she may have not only favored comedic aspects, but also engaged in maneuvers to mask this preference. The sense of betrayal is evident as those who once saw her as a stalwart of authenticity now question whether she might have deceived both the public and her colleagues. At present, the future course of action remains uncertain. While Lively's exit from the country has dominated media attention, the legal process continues unabated. Should forthcoming forensic analyses of her records conclusively prove misconduct, a legal verdict could still be rendered in her absence. Baldoni's ongoing defamation lawsuit poses a serious threat of significant financial repercussions. Lively's decision to leave complicates potential settlement negotiations, which typically depend on all parties engaging willingly and in good faith. With her now physically and perhaps emotionally distanced, the likelihood of an amicable resolution seems increasingly slim. From a career perspective, the repercussions for Lively could be severe. Casting directors, producers, and major studios are vigilant about controversies that escalate to this extent. Regardless of the legal outcomes, the impression that she fled to avoid accountability could damage her reputation. In Hollywood, where risk management is crucial, financial backers might hesitate to engage with someone who is seen as unreliable. It is uncertain whether Lively will attempt to control the narrative from overseas with a public relations strategy, or if she will choose to remain out of the spotlight, as further publicity could exacerbate her legal troubles. This scandal also heavily impacts the future of It Ends With Us. The production might proceed without Lively, but altering scripts and recasting can be costly.
It's a bit of a tough adjustment in our house, but it's good. I mean, I have two other daughters, so my oldest is very into the baby, but my middle child, not so much. But we're thinking of keeping her.
Does she like play with her? What does she think?
Well, she sort of like pretends to play with her. So like in the beginning, our oldest is like loving on her, and she's like very maternal, and then our middle daughter is just keeps away from her.
Hey, Blake. It is 2 a.m. Hopefully this does not wake you up. Whew. Wow. There's so much I want to say to you, and I hope that we can FaceTime or see each other in person soon and get to talk more. But I'm just going to send you a few thoughts, and hopefully it's not going to be more than a few minutes. But that I don't have the best track record. I don't think either one of us have the best track record for our voice memos. I want to start with an apology. Man, reading the second part of your message, my heart sank, and There
is also the concern that the film could be plagued by ongoing negative press when it is released, potentially undermining its reception and marketing efforts. Some fans suggest pausing the adaptation until the legal drama is resolved, and resuming once the situation is clearer. Conversely, others believe continuing production might be more sensible, particularly if public opinion continues to shift in favor of Baldoni. Should the courts ultimately confirm Lively's misconduct, it could be seen as a justification of Baldoni's stance, possibly rallying support for his interpretation of the story. In the meantime, the focus remains intensely on Lively's choice to leave the country under such contentious circumstances. Far from diminishing media scrutiny, her departure has only heightened interest in her whereabouts and intentions. While some speculate whether she will address the accusations from her current location, possibly through social media, others anticipate she might choose silence, hoping interest in her case will wane. However, given the high profile of It Ends With Us and Disney's involvement, this story is unlikely to dissipate quickly. The personal toll of this crisis on Blake Lively should not be underestimated. Lively has crafted a career leveraging her charisma, fashion sense, and knack for resonating with audiences in both comedic and dramatic roles. Whether she was complicit in a calculated deception or merely caught in a complex production debacle, the stress of these developments is undoubtedly significant. If indeed Ryan Reynolds is distancing himself or struggling with the allegations, she may find herself increasingly isolated. Under such circumstances, fleeing the country might seem like the only respite or a way to gain some distance. However, if her departure was an attempt to dodge legal repercussions, it could further jeopardize her future career. From Justin Baldoni's perspective, known for his dedication to authenticity and collaborative work, this whole situation likely feels unreal. What started as a cooperative creative endeavor has devolved into a convoluted mess of lawsuits, accusations of tampered evidence, and now, an international flight by a prominent Hollywood figure. While some view him as steadfast in protecting his reputation, the controversy could still harm his image, regardless of the outcome. Industry professionals and investors might be cautious about associating with a director or producer embroiled in such a public legal dispute, even if he is exonerated.
I was testing for a show that ended up actually getting picked up and doing very well, and I was one of 2 people, maybe. And then I get a call from my managers and my agent. They were both on the line, which means it's something serious.
Right.
Either you got the job or there's something wrong.
Yeah, no.
And they said, so you were the choice, but the network said that your eyebrows would be too distracting.
Oh, what? Oh, no.
And then they went like, so what can we do about your eyebrows?
And I'm excited to have a creative partner in that with you. And it's just really exciting. There's so much more to say. There's so much I want to say. And there's one thing that I do need to say, which is I am so sorry you have been through what you've been through with these other filmmakers and producers or whoever the people were that you worked with. It just pissed me off. Those that I'm just still kind of blown away that this is the industry that we're in and that you've experienced that as a woman. And I know I don't need to say it, but that's not at all going to be or will be, and hopefully it's not been the experience with me. There's nothing more exciting to me like that I get to work with Blake Lively and have her, all of her. I mean, that's what I want. And so there's been no hesitancy with me sending you the final draft file. I am totally fine with that. The only reason I didn't send it today was because I was trying to implement and add your notes into my working draft, which is already like I'm all over that draft right now. So there's a whole bunch of new stars that are going to be collated pages. And I just haven't had a chance to send it to you.
The broader implications highlight how public perception and online commentary can influence professional decisions dangerously. Early criticism from fans about the film's tone possibly led Lively to worry about a negative reaction, prompting her to potentially shift the blame. Whether or not this is true remains for the courts to decide, but it underscores the swift escalation of stakes when social media influences creative choices. In an industry where reputations hinge on star appeal and public favor, negative reactions from fans can feel like an imminent threat, possibly driving figures in the industry to take drastic actions if they feel trapped. Blake Lively's exit from the country marks the most dramatic turn yet in a saga that has defied all expectations. What started as a mere creative disagreement on set has spiraled into a complex narrative involving legal battles, alleged evidence tampering, involvement from major corporations, and the potential unraveling of both personal and professional relationships. Whether Lively will return to confront the legal challenges or attempt to handle the situation remotely is currently uncertain. For now, this evolving story highlights the intense combination of ambition, fear, and emotional turmoil that often accompanies creative disputes in the spotlight. As days turn into weeks without a resolution, the intrigue around Blake Lively's situation continues to captivate fans, the media, and industry observers. The unfolding drama taps into classic Hollywood storylines of troubled celebrity marriages, high-stakes legal disputes, and the heavy burden of meeting fan expectations. Originally meant to be a heartfelt adaptation of a beloved novel, It Ends With Us has morphed into a cautionary tale about how quickly personal and professional lives can intertwine and spiral out of control. At the heart of this controversy is an actress once celebrated for her poise, now speculated to have escaped the very spotlight she once embraced, in hopes of avoiding an escalating crisis. With no concrete updates, speculation remains rampant. Some anticipate a strategic return from Lively, once she can safely articulate her perspective, while others foresee a prolonged absence that could alter the trajectory of her career. Some predict a compelled return due to legal pressures. Currently, the only certainty is that the allegations and subsequent legal developments regarding her dispute with Justin Baldoni have profoundly affected her life and career. This incident has become one of Hollywood's most gripping controversies, leaving all involved and spectators alike wondering about its resolution, whether Lively's departure is the culmination or merely another chapter in an ongoing drama.